We've all been there. You're ready to create, you're ready to record, and you're staring at a blank screen in your digital audio workstation. What do you do? How do you get those ideas and those creative juices flowing? Well, in this week's Studio Live Today podcast, I'm sharing 5 weird and wacky ideas that you may not have thought of that can get you started with your songwriting and creation process. Hello, my name is Pete Johns. This is the Studio Live Today podcast. If you're listening on the podcast version, we will be showing some things visually as well, but I will be explaining them as we go along. If you're watching the video version, hello to you. Feel free to leave a like here on YouTube and leave a comment letting me know what weird and wacky ways do you create songs? I would love to get your ideas, and hey, maybe we can do a part 2 with some community tips and tricks that can help people get creating. But for now, let's dive in. Now, if you're watching the replay on the video version, there's timestamps down in the description so you can jump around to the 5 different methods I'm going to show. Number 1 is what I call the do's and dahs. What are we talking about here? It's where you've got an idea in your head, but let's just say that you're not the world's greatest keyboard or guitar player. So you've got this idea and you're like, I've got this melody idea, but I don't really know how to play it. Well, what I suggest is grab a microphone and sing it in. Sounds pretty basic, right? But it can actually really help. And the cool thing about this is if you're away from your studio or you're away from your DAW, if you've got a phone with you, use your voice recorder. So record it in as a voice memo, and then when you get back to the studio, you can translate it. But the idea here is to get that idea out of your head and down into some sort of recording to start with. So let's load up here. I'm going to hit the record button, and I'm just going to record in something, and we'll see if we can turn it into something else. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. There's my melody idea. I'm going to hit stop on that one. So I've recorded this in. If we play it back. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Not the greatest performance there, but we've captured the idea down. And what we can now do is grab whatever instrument we want. If you're a guitarist, you can sort of do, you can start noodling and work out what the notes are that you're playing, or okay, apparently I'm trying to play it in C major, but let's just play it back. And what you can do here is you can kind of play along and get an idea of what you were trying to create here. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. And what I'm going to do there, I'm going to cheat here because I don't have perfect pitch, so I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it in C major. So what we can now do is I'm going to, while I'm remembering this, I'm going to actually mute out my little sound there. And I'm going to try to play this in using this keyboard sound. Let's try this. Actually, we need to turn that metronome back on. We will undo that and turn the metronome on so we can actually hear the timing. 2, 3, go. Did I hit all the notes right? No, but this is the beauty part of using a digital audio workstation. We can actually come in here and edit those notes. So I'm going to come in here. I made a little mistake at one point where I did a little note in between. So we're just going to delete that in between note. And this last note, I resolved back to the C, but I actually wanted to do this to the D. So we've just made those couple of changes. Now let's play this back. And there you go. We've recreated our do's and dahs. Now, this works great for all sorts of things, for lead lines, for chords, for bass lines. I know my friend Jade Starr did this with an entire EP where she was walking around and was just doo-dooing and dah-dahing in bass lines and then came back and turned those into the bass lines of a bunch of songs. So it's a cool way. Here, again, is the original. Do, 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 do. And then here is my recreation on the keyboard. And because it's MIDI, if I'm like, actually, even though I can only play it in C major, I actually want to bring it down and put it into like D or a different key, I can actually select them all here. And you can do this in pretty much any digital audio workstation and drag down and put it closer to my original sound. Pretty cool, yeah? Simple as that. That's your doo-doos and your da-das. A fun way to just capture some sounds. And remember, you can be in the shower. Don't take your phone in the shower. But you can be out and about. You can be anywhere else. As long as you've got access to some sort of recording platform, I suggest your smartphone. You can capture those do's and das and throw them in and create yourself something cool and unique. Number 2, I like to call MIDI theft. Sounds nefarious, doesn't it? Sounds a bit creepy, but it's actually a bit of fun. And it involves downloading and importing a MIDI file into your digital audio workstation. I'm going to show it in GarageBand, but pretty much every DAW supports MIDI. Now, the reason I call this MIDI theft is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a website. You can go to any website you like. I like midiworld.com. It's just a quick and easy place to grab something. I'm going to choose something at random here. I'm going to grab a particular song, and then I'm actually going to bring it into my GarageBand, and you can do this again in anything you like. Why don't we go with jazz? So I'm just here on the main page. I'm going to tap on jazz, and it's going to open some popular jazz songs here. Now, please keep in mind, copyright. Don't just lift someone's entire song and then just use it for your own nefarious purposes. But I'm going to choose a song at random. This could go anywhere. I don't know what this is. I don't know who this composer is, but it's a track called V-Man. I'm going to hit the download button. It's fun, this, because you really don't know what you're going to get, especially if you don't choose a song that you know. If you put Sweet Child of Mine in there, it's like, well, yeah, obviously that's not going to be cool. But I like to do this because it could just create and provide that little bit of inspiration you need. So what I've done here is I've downloaded a MIDI file. I'm going to jump back over to GarageBand, and I'm going to open it here in my loop browser. So the way to do this is to go into your loop browser and go to Files and Browse for, and find the file that we just downloaded. If you want to learn more about using MIDI in GarageBand, I've got whole videos here on the channel. If you search my name, Pete Johns GarageBand MIDI, you're going to find some videos to show you how to do this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab this MIDI file now and drag it over into our project. And here's a cool thing. It actually expands out and it gives us all of the different tracks that are within that MIDI file. Now, this one, I realized I've just opened it in a track I was already using. So I'm actually going to come out and create a brand new project, because it will actually bring in some of the MIDI data as well. So if you do this into a blank project, it's always a good idea, because then it's going to bring in all of the MIDI not sounds, but all of the MIDI note information, as well as things like your tempo and your keys and other things. So I've brought that in here, and here it is now. MIDI files are notoriously a bit weird, and this one is no exception, because it seems to have brought in a whole bunch of different pianos and drum tracks, but it's only got one actual track here. Now, I'm going to play this. I don't know what this song is. I'm just going to solo this and take a listen to this piano part of this song. That's pretty cool, right? So why am I showing you this? Why are we using and lifting someone else's stuff? Well, what I can do is I can actually create something by changing this up a bit. So I'm actually going to do this now. I'm going to split this out, and I'm only going to use one little section because I really dig this little loop at the start here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and use this as a motif and as a loop and create a very different style of song. How can I do that? Well, we can use this MIDI sound and add it to a brand new track, or we can even just change the instrument here. I like to just create a new track. So we're going to go to the plus button here and select an instrument that's going to do something very different with this. So we're going to go to our keyboards. I'm going to go to more sounds here. And what if I go with something like the digital plucks? So if we make this a digital plucks sound, what's this actually going to sound like? So I'm going to come up and grab and copy and paste that. So I'm copying the MIDI data, that one little couple of bars there, or is it really only one bar there? And I'm going to paste it down on this digital plucks sound. What do we got? That's cool, except I've left the piano on there as well. So with just the digital plucks, There you go. So that's what we've got. And what we can then do is if I wanted to create something interesting with this, I can loop that out. So we've taken this little jazz loop and now we're going to add and make it more like a chip tune kind of style here. So let's hit the plus button here and add in some drums. So let's go to the drummer, shall we? We're going to grab the drummer. We're going to go into electronic. And I'm going to, let's see what just straight up Leah here with her After Hours is going to do. So we've brought some drums in on this track. Right? So we've started to build out something. We had nothing. We've used something as inspiration. Now, the other things you can do is you can do things like change the speed. So because this is MIDI, we can come into the settings here and we can adjust the speed. So if you make this like twice the speed, I mean, that's a bit weird. We can halve the speed. So what if we made this half the speed of that original? That's actually pretty cool. I like that. You can even play around and reverse it. So you can do this in almost all of your different DAWs. So you could just take that original one. And you get a really different style there. The other thing you can do is transpose it. So you can even use it in a different octave. So if we wanted to make this more of a bass part, we can bring it on down here. Right? And we can build on this. So we've taken something from somewhere else. Look, remixing, sampling, inspiration. We've been doing it for decades, probably centuries. So if you're completely stuck, why not go grab a random MIDI file? You can do it from a song you know, a song you don't know. Bring it in here, choose one instrument, one loop, one sound, one pattern, and then throw it here into your track. It's just like using things like the autoplay or a MIDI loop within GarageBand or your other DAWs, except it's kind of, I love the serendipity of just something completely random. So there you go, MIDI theft, our second option. Number 3 is a bit of a weird and wacky one as well. It's what I call the predictive text hack. You know, when you're typing a message on iMessage or an Android message or pretty much anywhere these days, it gives you that prediction of what the next word is. It's kind of like similar to what ChatGPT and AI is doing these days, but it's a more primitive version. Well, you can actually come up with some really fun ideas out of that perhaps you wouldn't have thought of yourself. So I'm going to demonstrate this now. I've opened a brand new message here in iMessage and I'm going to use the future as my prompt here and then hit the space bar. And then all I'm going to do is tap over and over again on this middle button here that's going to give us the next word. So I'm going to read it as we go and you can see it on the screen if you're watching the video. The future is in our hearts as a country that has a strong economy that has been able and willing for a fair share. So why am I doing this? Well, this has given me an idea now. So the future is in our hands as a country that has a strong economy that has been able and willing for a fair share. Now, am I going to use all of those words? No. But I can take a few of those concepts and then put them into my song. So let's do that now. I'll go back to the song we were just doing and use this and we'll create a little bit of a vocal part for this. So I'm going to add a vocal track to this one and I'm going to sing a little made up bit based on those words there. It's going to be interesting. Check 1, 2, we're ready to go. The future is in our hearts. Our country will be okay as long as we kick out all the people who don't behave. Was that completely horrible? Yeah. Am I going to leave it in? Yeah, I was trying to make a point that we should kick out the people who are the racists and the bigots, and it kind of came out. I could just imagine them going, yeah, it's a good song, John. So I'm like, no, 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 it's supposed to be about you. And they're like, no, he makes a good point. I'm waiting for someone to chop that now and take it completely out of context. That was embarrassing. But, so you can see that sometimes this will not work at all, and you've just created a horrible song. But in fact, let's try that one more time because I don't like that. We're going to undo that and pretend it never happened. But let's just record it again, and let's be a bit more careful. The future is in our hands. We have the opportunity to be there for each and every one. The future is in our hearts. A little better. Not great, but a little better. And this is the fun part of this because sometimes you have happy little accidents that are really good, and sometimes you go down a horrible rabbit hole that you had no intention of doing. But then we could just come and play around with this. So I've just got clean audio there, but let's make this like a dreamy audio preset sound and give it a play. The future is in our hands. We have the opportunity to be there. And again, this could be different. We could speed it up. We could add bass and go, the future is in our hands. We have the opportunity. Again, you could create a punk song. I kind of like it. I like the concept, and we got that thanks to weird predictive text that our iMessage gave us there. So play around with that. Maybe don't go with the future, otherwise, you're going to end up with concepts that maybe you don't want to go down. Maybe go with puppy or kitten. You might have a bit more luck with that one. But that is the predictive text hack. Number 4 is what I call the video trick. And you can use any source. You can use a book. You can use whatever you got lying around. But the idea here is, again, to generate something random from another source. So I've grabbed my iPhone. I've got YouTube fired up here. I'm going to scroll through my feed and stop on a particular video. I don't actually know what this is. It is a late night battle, the late night talk show wars of the 1990s. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, don't go with the first words here. I'm going to tap on the video and I'm going to pause it. And then I'm just going to go to a section. I'm just going to randomly find a spot here and I'm going to play the audio of this. Take a listen to where we're at and what we have to base our song on.
Letterman then confessed on air that the information the blackmailer had was accurate. He had been involved.
There you go. So what is our concept of our song? It's a celebrity being blackmailed. So now we can go back to our song and actually change our lyrics to actually be around that. So instead of being about the future, we can make it about a celebrity being blackmailed. So let's try and record something in based on this idea. Hit the record button. Public eye, you better watch your back. Someone might be watching you. They're coming for your cash. There you go. So because David Letterman's being blackmailed in the 90s, that I got from a random video, we've now got a very different style and very different lyrics for our song here. They're coming for your cash. And again, it might not be that I use all of that to do everything, but they're coming for your cash. That's a cool concept. I want to do a song called and again, it could be a rock song. They're coming for your cash. Okay, getting carried away now. But you can see the fun you can have with this. Whenever someone says, I've got writer's block, I've got no idea what to write, I've got no idea what to create, I say, there's always ways. There's means you can do this. You just have to think a little bit left field or right field, whichever way you'd like to lean. But there you go. That is the video trick. And once again, open to a page on a book, grab a magazine. Heck, go out to your letterbox and get that weird mailer that's probably come from some dodgy politician and get some ideas from there. Or maybe don't do that. It'll angry up the blood. You'll get filled with rage. But another idea there, the video trick, number 5. And my final weird and wacky songwriting idea is loop roulette. Now, I've showed this before. We've done it before on GarageBand Weekly and on other shows. It's really fun because you just have to work around what you're given by a random loop you choose. And it could be anything from any genre. That's what makes it so fun. So, regardless of what DAW you're using, it probably comes with some built-in loops or sounds or MIDI patterns or something. And that's what you're going to use here. So here in GarageBand, I'm going to go into the Apple loops. We've got a whole bunch of them. I'm just going to close out any filters that I've got on there. And here's the thing. I'm scrolling up and scrolling down and scrolling all around. And what I'm going to do is, without looking, I'm just going to go here somewhere into the middle. And this could be drums, this could be bass, this could be melody, it could be any genre. And I'm going to stop. And you know what I've got? I've got Finn and a cajon dub sound. So let's preview it by tapping on it. I kind of love it. Tap it to stop. We're going to drag that one in here, and that's going to be a drummer track. Now, the beauty part is that because we've started with a drummer track, it's going to be easy for us to roll the roulette wheel. No, spin the roulette wheel again, roll the dice, mixing my metaphors, and try again. So at the moment, we've got Finn on his cajon. And let's see if we get something that's going to match, or more funny sometimes if it doesn't match. So round and round or up and down he goes. Where he stops, there. Oh, did I cheat then? Kind of, but it's a lemur call. We have to use it. We're putting the lemur call in there at the start. That's random. Okay, let's do this one more time. You can see why this is fun, right? Because who knows what you're going to do here. We're going to scroll down and stop. We've got a miles away kick. Okay, from the Oak Felder pack. We'll throw that in, but how about that comes in halfway through here? So we've got, now we've got our opening. We've got our lemur. We got Finn. I think we need to bring something melodic in there. Hopefully that's what we get next. That additional kick actually works kind of well there. I'll just turn it down a little bit. Roulette again. Stop. Oh, we've got a topper. We've got the New Day topper here. Well, that's cool. We can bring that in around bar 3 there. So this is going to be a nice build here. So here's our start again. I can't not laugh at the lemur. Bring in our topper. Our kick comes in. And here's the thing. Would you ever think to use a cajon drummer loop with an additional kick and then with some toppers like that? Probably not. So you're going to create yourself something really different and unique. Let's go to the loops one more time, and we're going to scroll down. Let's see if we get something melodic this time. We got some bass. We got the Paper Dragons bass from the Edges and Angles pack. Jeebus. Okay, that's pretty intense. We're going to have to use it though. Oh, we've missed. We've closed out. We're going to have to use it though. Paper Dragons bass. Let's bring that one in. I reckon we bring that in here from the middle. Oop, from the middle of there. All right. Drop it in and turn it down because that's going to be pretty intense. And look, not every loop will work when you do this. Here we go. Where's our bass? I actually kind of love that. Back to our lemur at the start. Let's do it one more time. We've got to get something up there, something higher up, don't we? Stop. What have we got? Pressure release. That's a cool transition effect. All right, we'll put that as a transition effect in the middle there when our bass comes in. That's cool. We got something else here. Something melodic. What about this? Reflection bell pads. That's what we've landed on. That's pretty cool. Is that going to work with this song? Let's just put it in here after the lemur. We'll have the bell pads come in a little bit after that. So mirror, and then drop it in on bar three. So here is what's been created here that we're working a song around now. Take it away, Lima. Is that really what a Lima sounds like? Almost Christmassy. Look, I kind of love it. I'm not going to lie. If I'm honest, it is what it is. But I kind of love it. And there you go. You might want to use parts of that. You might want to adapt that. You might want to bring in other ideas and things. Oh, I don't know what this song's going to be about. Oh, I'll go use the predictive text hack. I'll grab a book or a video nearby, play a section, generate an idea from that. So yeah, I'm a little bit proud of that one. That was going in my ideas for something for the future there. But just to rehash here, do's and don'ts. Make sure you got a recorder with you wherever you go. Make sure you're recording those ideas. MIDI theft. Be a thief. Go and find a random MIDI file. Bring in a loop. Bring in something, and then play with it and twist it and turn it into your own. Predictive text hack. Just kind of fun because it's always wacky to see what it says when you put a few words in. Your video trick. Grab a video. Open it up to a random section, see what they're talking about, write something about that, steal a line from it. No one's going to go, oh, I reckon John's was, he stole that one line from the middle of that one video about the comedy wars of the 90s. What? No, doesn't matter. And loop roulette, probably my favorite and funnest way of creating some songs. So there you go. That is going to do it for this one. I hope you found it fun. If you did and you're watching the video version, thumbs up because the sun's up. If you're listening on the audio version, please leave a review or a rating on your pod player catcher of choice. And head over to studiolivetoday.com. There you'll find links to everything that we do around here, all of the tutorials, all the tips, the tricks, the newsletter, everything is there for you. Until next time, please be kind to yourself, be kind to others, keep creating, and I'll see you next time on the Studio Live Today podcast.